Have you ever met someone who acts like an expert in every conversation, even when they clearly lack the necessary background? Today, we're diving into a fascinating concept called Illusory Authority Syndrome. While not an official psychological diagnosis, this term describes a very real pattern of behavior. People with this mindset believe they possess authority or expertise in areas where they actually do not. This false sense of superiority shapes how they interact, make decisions, and influence others. Let's explore what this looks like, why it happens, and how it affects our daily lives. Illusory authority syndrome is a cognitive and behavioral pattern. It's when someone genuinely believes they have authority, expertise, or even superiority in areas where they actually lack real knowledge or skill. This isn't just about being confident. It's about being convinced you're right, even when you're not. This mindset can influence how someone speaks, the decisions they make, and the way they interact with others. It's important to recognize that this isn't about malicious intent. Often, people are unaware of their own lack of expertise. One of the core features of illusory authority syndrome is overconfidence without actual competence. People with this pattern often act as if they are experts, even though they lack the necessary knowledge or experience. This can lead to giving advice, making decisions, or taking actions that are not supported by facts or expertise. Overconfidence can be persuasive, making it difficult for others to challenge or question the person's authority, especially in group settings. Another common trait is dominating conversations. Individuals with illusory authority syndrome often interrupt others, correct them, or offer unsolicited advice. They may steer discussions toward their own opinions, making it hard for others to contribute. This behavior can create an unbalanced dynamic, where one person's voice overshadows everyone else's, regardless of actual expertise. Over time, this can discourage open dialogue and collaboration. People with this syndrome often resist feedback. When someone disagrees with them or offers constructive criticism, they may see it as a personal attack or a sign of disrespect. Instead of considering other perspectives, they double down on their own views. This resistance can make it difficult for them to grow or learn from mistakes, and it can also create tension in relationships, both personal and professional. A striking feature of illusory authority syndrome is misplaced leadership. Individuals may take control in situations where they are not qualified, simply because they believe they should lead. This can happen in group projects, meetings, or even casual discussions. Their confidence can sometimes convince others to follow, but the lack of real expertise can lead to poor decisions and missed opportunities for true collaboration. People with illusory authority syndrome often project absolute certainty, even when they are wrong. They speak with confidence, rarely expressing doubt or acknowledging gaps in their knowledge. This projection can be persuasive, making others question their own understanding or defer to the person's opinions. However, this certainty is not based on facts, and it can lead to misinformation or poor decision-making. A closely related concept is the Dunning-Kruger Effect. This psychological phenomenon describes how people with low ability in a particular area tend to overestimate their competence. Illusory authority syndrome often overlaps with this effect, as both involve a disconnect between perceived and actual expertise. Understanding the Dunning-Kruger effect can help us recognize why some people are so confident, even when they're wrong. While many people struggle with imposter syndrome, feeling unqualified despite their skills, illusory authority syndrome is almost the opposite. Here, individuals feel highly qualified even when they're not. This contrast highlights the complexity of self-perception and confidence. Both syndromes can impact personal growth and relationships, but in very different ways. Pseudo-intellectualism is another related idea. This is when someone tries to appear knowledgeable or intellectual, often by using jargon or referencing complex ideas without truly understanding them. Illusory authority syndrome can involve pseudo-intellectual behaviors, as individuals attempt to reinforce their perceived expertise in front of others. Narcissistic traits can sometimes be present in those with illusory authority syndrome. These individuals may crave admiration, seek to dominate social situations, or dismiss others' contributions. While not everyone with this syndrome is narcissistic, there is often an overlap in behaviors, especially when it comes to seeking validation and control. Authority bias usually means we trust those in positions of power. With illusory authority syndrome, the bias is directed outward. The person expects others to treat them as an authority, even without credentials. This can lead to frustration when others don't comply, and it may create conflict in teams or social groups. Let's look at a real-world example. Imagine a coworker who insists they know the right way to do things, even though they have no experience in the area. They may override others' suggestions, give unsolicited advice, and resist feedback. This can create frustration, reduce team morale, and even lead to mistakes if their advice is followed without question. Consider a student who lectures classmates on topics they barely understand. They may dominate group projects, correct others, and present their opinions as facts. This behavior can stifle learning and discourage others from sharing their ideas, ultimately harming the group's overall performance. On social media, illusory authority syndrome can be especially visible. Some users confidently give medical or financial advice without any formal training. Their certainty can be persuasive, leading others to follow potentially harmful recommendations. This highlights the importance of verifying information and being cautious about who we trust online. Sometimes, someone assumes leadership in a group simply because they feel they're right, not because they have relevant experience. This misplaced confidence can lead the group in the wrong direction, especially if others are hesitant to challenge the self-appointed leader. Recognizing this pattern is key to fostering healthier group dynamics. Illusory authority syndrome is a powerful concept for understanding why some people act like experts without real expertise. It's shaped by overconfidence, resistance to feedback, and a need to be seen as knowledgeable. By recognizing these patterns in ourselves and others, we can encourage more open, collaborative, and informed conversations. Remember, true authority comes from knowledge, humility, and a willingness to learn.